Namaskar, good afternoon to all of you. I extend a warm welcome to all of you for this press conference. I am Dr. M. Mahapatra, DG, India Meteorological Department, speaking from Trivandrum. So today we will be discussing about what has happened in the month of July in terms of rainfall and the forecast for August, September, and for the month of August. So please bear with us for 1 minute. I will share the PPT. There. Okay. So as all of us know that monsoon advanced into Andaman Sea on 16th of May 2022, nearly 5 days ahead of the normal date. And on 13th May, IMD issued monsoon onset forecast for Kerala for 27th May plus minus 4 days. And southwest monsoon set in over Kerala on 29th May.
Breaking, sir.
Okay. Against normal date of 1st June. Am I clear now?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Southwest monsoon covered the entire country on 2nd July, 6 days early against its normal date. If you look at the rainfall so far for the country as a whole, on the top left, this diagram, it shows the daily rainfall in blue histogram, and the red one is the normal daily rainfall. So what you find that in the beginning of June, say up to 14th June, it was below normal rainfall activity, and thereafter the rainfall activity increased for 1 week. And then the last week of June, again, it was below normal. Thereafter, entire July, if you just look at, it has been above normal, and except 1 or 2 days during the 3rd week and last 4 days of the month. If you just look at the diagram just at the bottom of that, you will find that this is the rainfall activity of the monsoon core zone. Monsoon core zone is nothing but the central India region extending from Odisha to Gujarat and adjacent Rajasthan. And this monsoon core zone is important in the sense that this area is close to the rainfall region. That also you see that rainfall activity over the monsoon core zone is almost similar to the all India rainfall zone, and rainfall activity in July has been quite good, except the last 1 week. Now, on the right hand side, this is the meteorological subdivision-based rainfall activity. What we find that rainfall during June and July taken together so far has been normal or excess in most parts, especially the central and south India. But the Gangetic plains, starting with West UP, East UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, Gangetic West Bengal, this is the major area which has become deficient. If I look at the deficiency by the end of July, that is taken together from 1st June to 31st July, is ranging from 40 to about 50%. So, in addition to that, there has been some deficient rainfall in Kerala also. It is 26% deficient, and Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura. So, while the deficiency in Kerala is less, and also we know that Kerala gets a higher amount of rainfall, but the Gangetic plains, that is UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, and West Bengal, which usually get a normal range rainfall, that has been worst affected by the deficiency in rainfall. Now, if you just look at the country as a whole from 1st June to 30 June, it was minus 8%. And it was in the normal range for the country as a whole. And forecast was 92 to 108%. If you consider July, the country as a whole has been about 17% above normal. And considering the southern peninsula, you will find that rainfall has been again above normal in July. It has been about 42.7% above normal, 60.4% above normal. Central India has been 42.7% above normal. But East and Northeast India, which includes Ganges to West Bengal, Bihar, Jharkhand, and northeastern states, that has been most affected. It is minus 44.7%. Northwest India has been above normal with 10.8%. Now, if I consider June to July, then again, South Peninsula, that is 28% above normal. Central India is 17% above normal. Northwest India is 5% above normal. A country as a whole is 8% above normal. East and Northeast India is 16% below normal. Now, week by week, if I just look at this diagram, the blue histogram or the blue bars indicate every week performance of monsoon, and the green indicates the cumulative. That is when I go to week 2, that is 15 June, it is the cumulative of past 2 weeks. That is week ending 8 June and week ending 15 June. That is the cumulative rainfall, that is in green, and blue one is the rainfall during that week itself. So what we find actually in the month of June, except the third week, it was deficient. It was in the below normal category. But in the month of July, every week it was above normal, and especially the 2nd July, that is week ending 13 July, was significantly highly excess, that is 50% excess on that season. Now, if I just look at rainfall during July for the recent years, say 1988 onwards, if I just look at the rainfall, what I find actually, sorry. So if I look at the rainfall departure during July in the recent years from 1988 onwards, what I find actually this year it was about 17%, actually 16.9%. And prior to that, if you just look at these green bars, in 2005, it was 18.9%. So that means after 2005, this year, we have got such a high excess rainfall in July. Now, if I just look at East and Northeast India, rainfall 1901 to 2022, what I find that this year, the red color, you can see here, and the red color, and this year it was minus, July 22, it was minus 45%. And if you just look at this data, you will find that in 122 years record, it was the lowest. In 1903, it was minus 41.3%. And as a whole, if I find out the trend of rainfall activity over East and Northeast India, it shows that this black line, you'll find that rainfall is decreasing over this region, and there is a decreasing trend. Now, Central India rainfall, if I just look at for the month of July, so what I find that this year it was 42.7% above normal in 2022 July. And it happened so in 1993, it was 42.7. So after 1993, this year again, the same amount, 42.7. The highest has been in 1955, when it was 45.9% above normal. So therefore, it was a very good July for Central India and South India as a whole. Now, so you will be wondering why it happened in the month of July, such an excess rainfall activity over Central India and South India. Just to explain that, I have shown here in this diagram the number of low pressure systems and number of low pressure system days, that is LPS days, in June and July. If you just look at June, there was no low pressure formed over Bay of Bengal or Arabian Sea. It was 0. But if you take the long period average during the month of June, usually we get 3 low pressure systems and 11 number of low pressure system days. In the month of July, we have been about 4 low pressure systems and 21 days of low pressure systems. So there was 4 low pressure systems and 21 days of occurrence of low pressure against the normal of 3 low pressure systems and 14 days of occurrence of low pressure. So basically these low pressure systems which prevailed for about 21 days in the month of July significantly contributed towards the rainfall activity. Again, if you just look at their frequency in this diagram, you will find that the number of low pressure system is increasing. Actually, the fact is that number of depressions are decreasing, but number of lows are increasing. Now, so if I just summarize here that it was in the month of June where we do not have any low pressure systems, only one very short-lived low was formed whose lifetime was only for 1 day, which was the case in 2012. But in 2012, rainfall deficiency was about 27%, 26.9 in June. But this year, even if there was no low pressure system, but rainfall deficiency was limited to 8%. So why so? It was basically because that the monsoonal current over the Arabian Sea was quite strong. As a result, the winds over Arabian Sea, South and Central Arabian Sea was quite strong, and hence the west coast and adjoining peninsular India got good rainfall activity in June. Similarly, the winds from Bay of Bengal towards the northeast India was quite strong in the absence of low pressure systems, and hence northeast India got a very intense rainfall activity in June, especially during the period of 11 June to 24 June, leading to floods for prolonged period. But apart from this northeast India and the southern parts of the country, the central India and northwest India were highly deficient in June. So these rainfall in these two belts, South India and Northeast India, compensated there, and as a whole, the country as a whole has the 8% below normal. Now, if you look at July, on the other hand, that 4 low pressure systems formed, starting with 4th July, first system, second system formed on 9th July, and that persisted over coastal Odisha and adjoining areas of Bay of Bengal till 20th, till about 17th July, and then moved up to 20th July towards the West MP and Northeast Bidar. So that particular July system, having persistence or having the life period from 9 to 20, about 12 days, could cause very high amount of rainfall. And then third low pressure system formed 15 to 18 July, and that became depression over Northeast Arabian Sea, and fourth one formed over Southwest Rajasthan. So because of these last two systems, the Arabian current became stronger, leading to high amount of rainfall over Rajasthan, Gujarat, and adjacent areas, and hence the floods also. Now, if you look at the other parameters of the monsoon, like monsoon trough, we always talk of every day. Monsoon trough in the month of July usually runs from Jacobabad, then Ganganagar, then Allahabad, then Kolkata, then it goes to North Bay of Bengal, then towards Myanmar. So I repeat, Jacobabad, Ganganagar, Allahabad, Kolkata. This is the normal position of the monsoon trough. But this year, in the month of July, you will find that almost every day, except during 20 and 21 July and 29 to 31 July, monsoon trough was lying south of its normal positions. And I want to tell you, the monsoon trough is a zone of convergence of the winds. And convergence is more leading to the higher amount of rainfall towards south. And hence, the southern part lying to the south of monsoon trough, about 2 degree to 3 degree away, gets maximum rainfall and maximum heavy rainfall. So therefore, because of this location of the monsoon trough, the south of its normal position, South India and Central India got higher amount of rainfall. And at the same time, the low pressure systems which developed over coastal Odisha and adjoining Bay of Bengal, they also moved along monsoon trough across South India and adjoining Central India. And therefore, we got the high amount of rainfall over this region. So these are the two important parameters, monsoon trough and low pressure systems, which are responsible for this type of amount of rainfall. But in addition, if you look at the large scale features, the Madden-Julian oscillation, which is an oscillation propagating from west to east, originating from Eastern Africa, moving across equatorial Indian Ocean, Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea, and then towards maritime continent and South China Sea and Northwest Pacific. So what happens actually, it moves west to east, and when it lies in phase 2 to 5, that means from Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, maritime continent area, that is Philippines up to Philippines, you can say, then Madden-Julian oscillation becomes very active for our region. It increases the convective activity and it modifies the circulation patterns, favoring the occurrence of low pressure systems and hence the high amount of rainfall, especially over central and South India. If it goes to phase 6, etc., then the rainfall belt shifts toward the north and hence the foothills of the Himalayas gets more rainfall of amount, or northeastern states gets more amount of rainfall. And at the same time, there could be the cyclogenesis over the Northwest Pacific and South China Sea, which sometimes the remnant comes to our region. But this year, there was no such remnant coming from South China Sea. All these 4 low pressure systems occurred in situ in our area and they provided the amount of rainfall. The stronger than normal Arabian Sea cross equatorial winds and lower level jet stream over the Arabian Sea was very much favorable for increasing rainfall activity over the country. At the same time, there was absence of active western disturbances, so which could not offset the activity of monsoon, and hence also it could not give an impact in that sense. Same thing I have just shown here in the right-hand side diagram. This MJO, it was lying from phase 2 to 5, which is favorable for rainfall activity over India. Now, all of us talk about La Nina conditions. The La Nina conditions are prevailing over the Pacific Ocean, and that helps the good rainfall activity, and also it helped the good rainfall activity in July. Now, if you look at the Indian Ocean dipole is like that you should have positive dipole means you've got a higher temperature near Somalia coast, near equator, and you have the lower temperature over the Indonesia coast. But negative dipole means the higher temperature of sea near Indonesia and lower temperature near Somalia, equatorial Indian Ocean. So this time, as we predicted in the beginning, that during monsoon season, there will be the development of negative Indian Ocean dipole. The Indian Ocean dipole is measured by an index called as DMI, Dipole Mode Index. Now, if it becomes less than -4 degrees Celsius, it is called as DMI, a negative DMI. And this year already it has become the negative DMI. But this Indian Ocean dipole has not impacted the atmospheric flow pattern so far in the equatorial Indian Ocean, or you can say Bay of Bengal. So therefore, what happened actually, even though this negative DMI was there was no such impact of the negative IOD so far in July. There is always a lag of IOD on the impact of rainfall. So therefore, considering the large-scale features, La Nina played a good role. Negative IOD impact would not be there to minimize the impact of the La Nina. MJO was in favorable conditions for most of the days. 4 low pressure systems formed. Monsoon trough was south of normal position. All this together led to activity of 17%. Now, if I look at the heavy rainfall activity which occurred in the month of June, as you know that the northeastern states were bombarded with the heavy rainfall activity. One day we could get 100 centimeters, more than 100 centimeter rainfall, if you remember, in Mausinram, and 90 centimeter rainfall also occurred in Cherrapunji and adjoining areas in 24 hours sometimes. So therefore, these red colored dots, you can just find all these extremely heavy rainfall events. It leads to very intense floods over that region in the month of June. But if I compare, what you find that the number of deaths of extreme heavy rainfall was 80 on these events, it's 80. Even though it was confined mostly to the northeastern states and southern and West Bengal, Sikkim, but number was quite high, comparing 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. And this high intense amount of rainfall compensated for almost the entire country and became just normal, 92%. Now, if I just look at the month of July, what I find that extremely heavy rainfall events are not so high. It was 131 against 161 of 2019. But still then, we could get very good distribution of rainfall activity over the country, except the Gangetic Plains. So what message I want to show you in these two diagrams? I want to show that the normal rainfall or above normal rainfall, below normal rainfall has no such direct relationship with the frequency of extremely heavy rainfall. Even if you have got, for the country as a whole, negative side of rainfall in the month of June, we could have very frequent extremely heavy rainfall event, which was highest in the last 5 years. Similar is the case in 22 July, when you have got 17% above normal rainfall, but extremely heavy rainfall events are quite less. It was 131. Now, if you look at the impact of these heavy rainfall events, and you will find that in the month of June, there was this blue color, light blue color indicates the floods. So there was flood over Assam and Meghalaya especially, and many parts were affected. Also, there were some localized floods in Gujarat and Maharashtra. Otherwise, we have got lightning and thunderstorm activity over the central and eastern parts of the country. All these things are shown here. While you look at the 26, while you look at the month of July, but you find that because of this central and South India getting high amount of rainfall, you can find the flooding zones in central and South India more. And there are very some isolated pockets of heavy rainfall events leading to floods, localized floods in the western Himalayan regions and also in northeastern states. Otherwise, you have got the Gangetic Plains had thunderstorm activity in the absence of large-scale rainfall activity. Now I will come to verification of the forecast for July. And on the right-hand side, this was the probability rainfall forecast, and blue and green indicated the normal and above normal rainfall activity. Yellow, orange, red indicated below normal rainfall activity. On left-hand side, this is the actual rainfall activity, what has happened. So I will say that it could very well predict the normal to above normal rainfall activity over peninsular India and also the western part of central India. But its prediction on the Gangetic Plains, especially the UP part, especially I will tell you, it has not been quite reasonable. So we had the prediction that it will be normal to above normal rainfall activity over UP, but actually it was the deficient rainfall over UP. But it could predict the deficient rainfall of Bihar, Jharkhand, and northern parts of Odisha, North Chhattisgarh, and also against West Bengal. Now, if I just look at the large-scale processes at present, that is El Nino La Nina conditions or ENSO conditions. Now, the temperature is minus 1.0 degrees Celsius, Nino 4. Nino 3.4 is minus 0.7. Once it is exceeding minus 0.5, it is called as La Nina, and it is a moderate La Nina conditions, minus 0.7. And prediction, if you just look at, that was predicted earlier, that it will be moderate La Nina conditions. It will continue throughout. And now also, our forecast is that it will continue throughout the season. Now, if you just look at the ENSO forecast, El Nino La Nina forecast for based on July initial conditions. So all the models are indicating that it will be the La Nina conditions continuing the monsoon season. Even some are suggesting that till the end of the year, the La Nina conditions may continue. And this negative DMI, which has already developed, that will continue throughout the season. Now we'll come to the forecast. We have given the first stage of monsoon forecast in April, and second stage we issued on 31st of May. And then monthly forecast we have continued for month of May, June, July. And now we'll give the forecast for August and September together. Now this is the probabilistic forecast for rainfall over the country during August plus September. That is 2 months period forecast. The left-hand side diagram gives the distribution of the expected probability of occurrence of rainfall in different parts. Here again, the blue and light blue colors indicate above normal, and green color indicates normal, and below normal rainfall is indicated by yellow, orange, and red colors. So what it indicates that a major part of the country will have here on the western side, especially starting with this Himalayan region and extending up to Tamil Nadu, except peninsular India. In this region, you will have normal to excess rainfall activity. And also you will have some areas of UP and some areas of Odisha, Jharkhand, and some areas of northern states also the above normal or normal rainfall activity. But at the same time, you can expect the below normal rainfall activity over some certain parts here, East Central India, certain parts, mainly Chhattisgarh, and adjoining areas, and here of course Bihar and adjoining areas. Of course, here Ladakh area and west coast, where we can expect the below normal rainfall activity. The white areas does not show any such prediction. It is showing equal probability, you can say, for different categories of rainfall. So if we consider all these three and say what will happen to the country as a whole rainfall, then it is expected that to be normal and 96 to 104%. When I say normal, the long period average of rainfall during August-September together is 422.8 millimeter. Now, if you just look at the probabilistic forecast for rainfall over the country during August, now again, if I just look at this diagram, the rainfall is showing that northwest India and western central India, that is west central India, northwest India, and many parts of southern India are expected, except west coast, of course, are expected to have the above normal or normal rainfall activity. Whereas the east central India, we can expect the below normal rainfall activity in some parts of Maharashtra also. And here also northeastern states. So there is a mixed trend here about certain parts of eastern India and some parts of here, there is a mixed trend. Now, if I consider the country as a whole, the forecast that rainfall again, because of these two dipolar behavior, it is expected to be normal again, and that will be 94 to 106%, and normal is 254.9 millimeter. Now, if I look at the maximum temperature, because of this variation of rainfall in the country expected in the August, so maximum temperature are expected to be below normal over this west central and northwest India because of the high amount of rainfall, and also southeastern part of the peninsula where rainfall is also expected to be high. But in eastern and northeastern states, we are expecting to be the above normal temperature, maximum temperature. Now, similarly, if we consider the minimum temperature, because of the high cloudiness, here again, the northwest India, west central India, and these parts of peninsula will have the lower, because of the low cloudiness, we will have this lower below normal temperatures, and here we can have the above normal temperatures. So what I want to say that maximum temperature and minimum temperature has certain impacts on agriculture. So therefore, in addition to rainfall forecast, we are also issuing the maximum temperature forecast and minimum temperature forecast. So while both maximum and minimum temperatures will be below normal over northwest and then west central India and some parts of peninsular India, it will be above normal both maximum temperature and minimum temperatures over eastern India and northeastern states. Now I'll go to the summary. So summary is that rainfall over the country as a whole during second half of the season, that is August plus September, is expected to be normal. It is please excuse me, this is wrong written. It will be 94 to 106%. It is not 96 to 104. It will be 94 to 106%. And then above normal rainfall is very likely over most parts of South India, except west coast, west central India, and northwest India. And below normal rainfall is likely over many parts of west coast and some parts east central, east, and northeast India. So monthly rainfall for August is also likely to be normal, that is 94 to 106%. And during August, normal to above normal rainfall is very likely over most parts of southeast India, northwest India, and adjoining west central India. Below normal likely over west coast and many areas of east central, east, and northeast India. So we'll be back with forecast for September on 31st August or 1st September. Now मैं थोड़ा भी आपको हिंदी में बताऊंगा कि फोरकास्ट अगस्त सितंबर की और अगस्त की 2022 के दक्षिण पश्चिम मानसून सीजन के दूसरी भाग में अगस्त से सितंबर की अवधि के दौरान पूरी देश में बारिश सामान्य रहने की संभावना है और ये 94 to 106% के अंदर हो सकता है। और 1971 से 2020 तक जो पीरियड है, इस पीरियड पर आधारित जो लॉन्ग पीरियड एवरेज है वो है 422.8 मिलीमीटर। पश्चिम मध्य भारत, उत्तर पश्चिम भारत, पश्चिम तट कुछ छोड़ के जो हिस्सा है साउथ इंडिया की, ये सभी जगह में अच्छा बारिश होने का संभावना है, अधिक वर्षा हो सकता है सामान्य से अधिक। और पश्चिम तट और सम पार्ट्स ऑफ ईस्ट सेंट्रल इंडिया और ईस्ट एंड नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया में बिलो नॉर्मल बारिश होने का संभावना है। फिर अगस्त की बात करें तो पूरी देश में भी आप एवरेज रेनफॉल लेंगे तो ये नॉर्मल हो सकता है 94 से 106% के अंदर, और नॉर्मल रेनफॉल होता है 254.9 मिलीमीटर। मगर स्पेशल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन देखें तो दक्षिण पूर्व भारत, उत्तर पश्चिम भारत और आसपास के सॉरी ये थोड़े से आप दोबारा बोलता हूँ, दक्षिण पूर्व भारत यानी साउथ ईस्ट इंडिया, उत्तर पश्चिम भारत यानी नॉर्थ वेस्ट इंडिया, और इसके आसपास जो पश्चिम मध्य भारत यानी वेस्ट सेंट्रल इंडिया, जैसे यहाँ आपको ब्लू कलर या लाइट ब्लू कलर या ग्रीन कलर दिखाई दे रहा है, वो सभी जगह में सामान्य बारिश हो सकता है और सामान्य से ज्यादा बारिश होने का भी संभावना है। मगर पश्चिम तट और ईस्ट सेंट्रल इंडिया और नॉर्थ ईस्ट स्टेट्स में कुछ इलाका में आपका बारिश संभावना सामान्य से कम होने का है। और ये जो सफेद छायांकित क्षेत्र है उसमें कोई संभावना का पूर्वानुमान नहीं है, क्योंकि यहाँ इक्वल प्रोबेबिलिटी दिखाई दे रहा है बिलो नॉर्मल, नॉर्मल और एबव नॉर्मल के। और अभी तापमान की बात करें कि अगस्त के दौरान पूर्व मध्य, पूर्व और पूर्वोत्तर भारत के अनेक भागों में तथा उत्तर पश्चिम कुछ हिस्सों में, दक्षिण प्रायद्वीप के कुछ हिस्से में भी ऐसे तापमान सामान्य से अधिक रहने की संभावना है, और देश के शेष भाग में अधिकतम तापमान सामान्य से लेकर सामान्य रहने का संभावना है। और न्यूनतम तापमान की बात करें तो पूर्व मध्य, पूर्व और पूर्वोत्तर के कुछ हिस्सों और उत्तर पश्चिम भारत में पहाड़ी क्षेत्रों में न्यूनतम तापमान सामान्य से अधिक रहने का संभावना है, और रिमेनिंग पार्ट्स में ये बिलो नॉर्मल रहने का संभावना है। अभी हम जो एक्सटेंडेड रेंज फोरकास्ट इशू करते हैं हर थर्सडे को, इसको आप देखें तो जो हमारा लॉन्ग रेंज फोरकास्ट है इसके साथ इसका तालमेल बहुत अच्छा है। हमारा दो एक्सटेंडेड फोरकास्ट मॉडल है, एक आईएमडी में और एक एनसीएमआरडब्ल्यूएफ में रन होता है। ये दोनों मॉडल में लगभग माने एनालोगस पैटर्न दिखाई दे रहे हैं कि एक मिक्स्ड ट्रेंड है, कुछ हिस्से में एबव नॉर्मल और कुछ हिस्से में बिलो नॉर्मल टेम्परेचर। और ये वीक वाइज देखें, अभी जो करंट वीक चल रहा है 4 अगस्त तक, इसमें फुटिल्स ऑफ हिमालयस यानी यूपी, बिहार, इस सब एरिया में एबव नॉर्मल रेनफॉल होने का संभावना है। सिमिलरली साउथ ईस्ट पेनिनसुला एरिया जो है, जैसे तमिलनाडु, केरला एंड कर्नाटक एंड इस सब एरिया में भी एबव नॉर्मल बारिश होने का संभावना है। सो सिमिलर पैटर्न चेंज हो जाएगा क्योंकि मानसून ट्रफ शिफ्ट होगा बाय द एंड ऑफ दिस वीक, दैट इज 5 अगस्त से शुरू हो जाएगा मानसून ट्रफ शिफ्ट होना फुटिल से, तो फिर सेंट्रल इंडिया में बारिश पड़ने का उम्मीद किया जा रहा है, जैसे यहाँ दिखाई दे रहा है लाइट ब्लू और ब्लू कलर से। फिर आज जो वार्निंग इशू किया गया इसके बात करें तो टुडे वी हैव issued a red color warning for Tamil Nadu and Kerala state, because we are expecting very heavy rainfall activity over these two states, and there could be isolated extremely heavy rainfall activity over Kerala also. And at the same time, today we are also expecting heavy to very heavy rainfall activity over northeastern states and some parts of northeast, some parts of eastern India, especially Bihar, Southern West Bengal, Assam, Meghalaya, Arunachal Pradesh. For this, we have got high probability. We have got the orange color warning. In other regions, we have got yellow color warning along the east coast and adjoining interior parts. फिर बेसिकली फैक्ट यही है आज के लिए। फिर कल के लिए देखें तो सेम एरिया में वार्निंग जारी है, और इन एडिशन यूपी, उत्तराखंड एरिया के लिए भी हम वार्निंग जारी किए हैं। और अकॉर्डिंगली धीरे धीरे आप देखेंगे कि रेनफॉल एक्टिविटी पेनिनसुला इंडिया कंटिन्यू कर रहा है नेक्स्ट 5 डेज, और धीरे धीरे रेनफॉल एक्टिविटी जब 5 तारीख तक जाएंगे कम हो जाएगा फुटिल्स ऑफ हिमालयस एंड नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट्स में, एंड सेंट्रल इंडिया रेनफॉल विल इंक्रीज. It is mainly because of the fact that at present, western end of the monsoon trough lying to the north of its normal position, and the eastern end runs close to foothills of the Himalayas. And this monsoon trough will shift southward from 5th August And as a result, from 5th August onwards, rainfall activity along the foothills and UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, and northeastern states will decrease. At the same time, rainfall activity will increase gradually, shifting towards south 5th August onwards. And the southern peninsula, the yellow color warning which we have given today, it is mainly because of a east-west wind shear zone. That is, easterly wind and westerly winds are meeting with each other over this region. As a result, there is increased convective activity and winds also stronger. We have fisherman warning today and tomorrow, day after tomorrow also, and next 3 days, we have got the fisherman warning along Kerala coast and Comorin area. And therefore, fishermen also have been advised not to venture into sea. So I will stop here and thank you very much for listening me with patience. Now it is open for questions.
Sir, नमस्कार.
नमस्कार.
मैं सर कोलकाता से संदीप त्रिपाठी बोल रहा हूँ, वर्तमान हिंदी न्यूज़पेपर से.
हेलो.
हाँ सर, बोल रहा हूँ, मैं कोलकाता से बोल रहा हूँ, संदीप त्रिपाठी, वर्तमान हिंदी से. सर मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि जो जुलाई महीना था वो बारिश में काफी कमी रही, तो आपने बताया कि नॉर्मल से ज्यादा बारिश होगी अगस्त सितंबर में, तो क्या एक्सपेक्टेशंस रह रही सर ईस्टर्न इंडिया के लिए, थोड़ा सा बताएं.
So if you refer what forecast I told that rainfall activity in July has been quite deficient, about 50% you can say over the east and northeast India, and that includes even UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, Gangetic West Bengal especially. And as the forecast is concerned for August, so what we find that normal to above normal rainfall activity is expected over southeast India, northeast India, and adjoining west central India. So below normal rainfall activity is likely over west coast and many areas of east central, east and northeast India. So you have got, if you look at Gangetic West Bengal only, there is a mixed response. In some areas you will have the efficient rainfall, and some other area you may have normal rainfall activity. But excess rainfall activity is not expected.
सर मैं अनिरुद्ध बोल रहा हूँ, दैनिक भास्कर दिल्ली से.
Yes, please.
सर आपने अभी बताया कि 1988 के बाद से आपने जुलाई के बारिश का पूरा डेटा दिया है, जिसमें 2005 के बाद ये सबसे ज्यादा बारिश है इस जुलाई में. सर मैं जानना चाह रहा हूँ कि टोटल जिस तरह से आपने लोएस्ट बताया इसको नॉर्थ ईस्ट एंड ईस्ट को 122 ईयर्स में, उस तरह से टोटलिटी में अगर बात करें, जो भी आपके पास मैक्सिमम रिकॉर्ड उपलब्ध है, उसमें जुलाई की जो इस बार बारिश थी वो किस पायदान पर रही? जैसे 1988 से देखने पर लग रहा है ये 3rd या 4th नंबर पर.
देखिए, मैं आपको ये बात थोड़ी से क्लैरिटी कर दूं. आप रेनफॉल को कंपेयर करना चाहते हैं लास्ट 100 ईयर्स में, तो फिर आप परसेंटेज डिपार्चर सिर्फ देखिए, एब्सोल्यूट रेनफॉल अमाउंट मत देखिए. इसका कारण यही है क्योंकि 1901 में हमारे पास जितना स्टेशन था रेनगेज स्टेशन, अभी तो वो है नहीं. अभी तो हमारे पास 5000 से ज्यादा रेनगेज स्टेशन थे, तो अब तो हार्डली 1901 में 300 स्टेशन हो गया कि नहीं. सो देयरफॉर स्टेशंस डिफरेंट हो गया. सो एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू का आप कंपेयर करेंगे तो आपका डिफरेंस आएगा. मगर वही 300 स्टेशन लेकर मैं नॉर्मल निकालूं और एक्चुअल वैल्यू कंपेयर करूं, जो डिपार्चर मिलेगा वो डिपार्चर में कंपेयर कर सकता हूं.
ठीक है, तो इसका मतलब है जो आपने 1988 से जो बताया उसी को हम IMD का ओरिजिनल रिकॉर्ड माने.
तो परसेंटेज डिपार्चर में दिखा रहा हूं वही मानिए. परसेंटेज डिपार्चर हमारा 1901 से भी है, मगर दिखाने की क्या जरूरत है क्योंकि आपके पास तो अभी रिसेंट ईयर्स में अच्छा बारिश हुआ है.
ठीक है, थैंक यू सर.
हाँ संदीप जी.
हेलो
संदीप जी प्लीज. संदीप त्रिपाठी जी.
मेरा हो चुका सर क्वेश्चन, थैंक यू.
अच्छा हो चुका है, ओके ओके.
सर मेरा सवाल है कि एट अ टाइम, मैं प्रतिभा हूँ जनसत्ता अखबार से.
बोलिए मैडम.
सर हम जब नेशनल एवरेज निकालते हैं तो क्या हम मान लीजिए किसी एट अ टाइम शॉर्ट पीरियड में कहीं पर ह्यूज रेन हो गया जिसे हम क्लाउड बर्स्ट भी कहते हैं, और कहीं कहीं पर नॉर्मल रेनफॉल भी नहीं है, तो क्या हम नेशनल एवरेज निकालने में हम यहाँ गलत नहीं हो जाते हैं कि कहीं ह्यूज रेन में हम ओवरऑल रेन काउंट कर रहे हैं और कहीं पर हमें रेन नहीं मिली बिल्कुल?
आपका बात सही है मैडम।
हाँ
वो तो मैं आपको मैंने कोशिश कर रहा था एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए। जो रेनफॉल हमको जून महीने में मिला,
हाँ
वी गॉट मोर फ्रीक्वेंट एक्सट्रीम हेवी रेनफॉल एक्टिविटी ऑन नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट्स।
हाँ
और जब हम कंट्री जो होल तैयार कर लिया, इसको ये कंपेंसेट कर रहा है, इसलिए 92% मिला।
हाँ
सो इसीलिए हम लोग आज क्या कर रहे हैं, हम आपको सिर्फ कंट्री जो होल का इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं दे रहा हूँ।
हाँ
आईएमडी अभी सिर्फ कंट्री जो होल का इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं दे रहा है, इसके
हाँ।
साथ साथ पूरा स्पेशल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन रेनफॉल कितना हुआ, कौन सा एरिया में हुआ, सब कुछ दिखा रहे हैं, नंबर 1। नंबर 2, हम ईच डिस्ट्रिक्ट का भी कैलकुलेशन कर रहे हैं, स्टैटिस्टिक्स कितना बारिश हुआ, कितना डिपार्चर हुआ, ये सभी को भी आप हर दिन हमारे वेबसाइट में देख पाएंगे, अपडेट दिया जाता है।
ओके सर, बस समटाइम्स किसी एरिया में रेनफॉल हो रही है लेकिन वहाँ मॉनिटरिंग सिस्टम
आई
नहीं
एग्री
है।
विथ यू मैडम, आई एग्री विथ यू। कहाँ बहुत सारे ज्यादा बारिश हो गया तो वो कंपेंसेट कर लेता है स्टैटिस्टिक्स में।
यस सर।
इसलिए वो स्टैटिस्टिक्स को अवॉइड करने के लिए यू हैव गॉट नंबर ऑफ मोर स्टैटिस्टिक्स। Please look at district-wise rainfall. Please look at station-wise rainfall. All the products are being generated. Please look at the grid point-wise rainfall, 25 km, 25 km. All these products are being made available, which gives more clarity. So इसलिए आप डिस्ट्रिक्ट-वाइज रेनफॉल तो एटलीस्ट आप देखिए, हर दिन हम डिस्ट्रिक्ट-वाइज रेनफॉल जारी कर रहे हैं।
Yes, sir. So, sir, we need more monitoring stations. How many we have and how much we need?
हमारा जो रेनफॉल मॉनिटरिंग स्टेशन है वो कंटिन्यूअसली बढ़ रहा है। नंबर ऑफ रेनगेज स्टेशंस आर कंटिन्यूअसली इंक्रीजिंग, and at present we have got about 5,300 rain gauge stations for monitoring the rainfall, and every year we are increasing. I hope in future also will go on increasing, and there is sky is the limit, you can say, but there is an optimum network. Every 10 kilometer we should have the rain gauge, so therefore there is scope to improve further. And if you go to the hilly areas, more number of rain gauges are there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Good evening, sir. Hello.
Yes, please.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
This is Ashish Deshmukh from Pune.
Yes, Ashish ji. बोलिए आशीष जी।
हाँ, महाराष्ट्र बहुत अच्छा रेन हुआ सर जुलाई में। अगस्त में कैसा रहेगा सर महाराष्ट्र?
बहुत अच्छा रहेगा, एक्सेप्ट कोंकण एरिया। आपका मध्य महाराष्ट्र, मराठवाड़ा, विदर्भ एरिया में बहुत अच्छा बारिश होगा, एक्सेप्ट ईस्टर्न पार्ट ऑफ विदर्भ, वेस्टर्न पार्ट ऑफ विदर्भ, मध्य महाराष्ट्र, मराठवाड़ा। ये अगस्त सितंबर का जो फोरकास्ट है वो बहुत अच्छा रहने का हमारा पूर्वानुमान है। और आप एक मिनट, और आप अगस्त का बात करें, सिर्फ अगस्त का आप बात करें तो ये अगस्त महीने में महाराष्ट्र में रेनफॉल बिलो नॉर्मल होने का संभावना है। इसका मतलब क्या होगा?
थैंक यू सर।
अच्छा बारिश हो सकता है अगस्त से।
थैंक यू सर।
Sir, this is Nida from Times, Goa.
Sir,
Can
I'm
you please
Abhimanyu Sharma
finish
from
Goa
CNBC TV
specific
18 channel.
information about?
I request one by one, please. You can show your hand, I can cover. Okay, Nida.
Yeah, hi. I'm from TOI Goa.
Sir, can you hear me?
And I wanted to know if you can share some Goa specific forecast for August and for the rest of the season.
Sir, I want to know that there has been 13%
Seasonal forecast which we are issuing for a
in
month
rice
of
producing
seasons.
states. What is the rate forecast in the rice producing Gangetic belt and Eastern India?
No, please, please, I request others to be silent, please. I am responding to Nida madam. So after that, I will take more questions. So I just want to keep a caution. I will request all of you, you will accept my request. This is a forecast for a month and a season, 2 months. So when you go to smaller and smaller area, the probability of error increases. So if you ask me Goa, I can tell this diagram from this diagram. If you ask me Goa, or if you ask me Southern Goa, Northern Goa, I can tell. But you should keep in mind that this is a monthly forecast, seasonal forecast. There could be spatial variations. If I say Goa, it may happen in Karnataka, or it may happen in Maharashtra also. But however, if you just look at the entire forecast for West Coast for the month of August, it shows below normal rainfall activity. So therefore, Goa being a part of that, so there is high probability that rainfall will be normal or below normal. Okay, Jayashree madam.
My question is related to the first question that was asked. I wanted to know what are your expectations for East India, and do you think that the deficiency at least will be covered in the next couple of months? And also about the paddy growing regions.
വീണ്ടും വെള്ളം പൊങ്ങുകയാണ് ചെയ്തത്. ഇന്നലെ ഒരു 5.5 അടിയോളം വീട്ടിൽ വെള്ളം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു.
24 news, please switch off.
വീണ്ടും അതൊരു 2.5 അടിയോളം
24 news, please switch off.
അതാണ് ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ അവസ്ഥ. അപ്പം ഇപ്പം കുറച്ച് ഇറങ്ങിയിട്ടുണ്ട്, എന്നാലും മഴ പെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നു.
അവിടെ നിന്ന് മാറി താമസിക്കാൻ എന്തെങ്കിലും സംവിധാനമുണ്ടോ? അവിടെ നിന്ന് അങ്ങനെ പോകേണ്ട ഒരു സാഹചര്യമുണ്ടോ?
Kuldeep, can you switch off 24 news?
എന്തെങ്കിലും ചെയ്യേണ്ടി വരും. നമ്മുടെ വീട് 2 നിലയാണ്. അപ്പൊ അത്
Okay. Yes, madam, please repeat your question.
Sir, I wanted to know whether the deficiency will be covered for East India in the next 2 months, especially the Indo-Gangetic plain region, and also what will be your message to the paddy growing farmers, because they seem to be very badly affected by this deficiency.
As for our forecast for August, September, if you just look at the deficiency in East UP, Jharkhand, Odisha, against West Bengal, of course, Odisha is not deficient at present. So it is expected that it will be near normal during this August-September forecast. But Bihar and some parts of northeast states may have below normal probability. So there is scope for overcoming the deficiency what we have if it occurs normal or above normal rainfall activity, especially over Jharkhand, against West Bengal, some parts of UP, East UP. Am I clear, madam?
Sir, yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah. Yes, hello, sir. I want to ask. Hello. Yes, sir. Sir, I wanted to. Yes, I wanted to know about, as you've already told about the overall forecast for the country. I wanted to know if at all IMD releases a region-wise forecast as well for Central India and Southern India and all these region-wise forecasts that you have just presented in the first slide. Do you give that for August as well as of September? And apart from that, there's another question that is related to IOD. So as you have told that IOD hasn't impacted that much on July. So what are your expectations going ahead for August and September, sir? Can you please reiterate that? Thank you.
Yeah. So first question, I will tell that you have told that regional forecast. We have given this partial distribution rainfall forecast for entire country. So we have not calculated the average rainfall expected for each region like Northwest, Northeast. But if you just look at Northwest India, for example, for the month of August, it shows that on the average it will come out with above normal rainfall activity. Similarly, West Central India, it will come out normal to above normal activity. But East Central India, East and Northeast India may come below normal rainfall activity. But that value we have not given. That is given only for seasonal figure. So in this forecast, we have given the distribution, spatial distribution over the entire country. This is number one. The number two question you asked about
IOD.
IOD. Yeah. So I want to say that Indian Ocean Dipole does not have concurrent relationship with the rainfall. When I say concurrent, that means if IOD becomes negative today, it doesn't mean that today rainfall will decrease. There is a lag period, about 1 to 2 months. And that lag is not fixed, that every year there will lag period of 1 month or 45 days. So there is, in general, there is a lag period of 1 to 2 months. So though DMI, that is dipole mode index, has become negative, that means we have got higher sea surface temperature near Indonesia and lower sea surface temperature compared to normal near Somalia coast in equatorial Indian Ocean. Its impact on the atmospheric circulation, it is in terms of the convection near East equatorial Indian Ocean, has not been reflected. If it becomes higher temperature near East equatorial Indian Ocean, convection should increase there. So that means the lag period is still continuing. And as we are expecting that DMI negative will continue, negative DMI will continue in August and September. So therefore, it can have the adverse impact. That means it can have some negative impact on the rainfall activity in the second half of the season. We have got 10% plus now. Though we have got 10% plus now, and as a whole, if you just look at whatever forecast we are given, that is 103% plus minus 4%, that we stand for the country as a whole, for the season as a whole.
And when you say about the negative impact, so do you mean there will be lagging in the rainfall for the upcoming months, or do you mean like there will be a constant widespread rainfalls, or there will be some major gap in the rainfall?
Negative impact means negative IOD is not good for Indian monsoon. Positive IOD is good for Indian monsoon. But negative IOD does not have impact so much in the month of July. In the month of August, September, La Nina condition is continuing. If only La Nina is there, there will be very good rainfall activity, just like in the month of July. And because of the negative IOD conditions, the positive impact by the La Nina will be reduced to some extent by these negative IOD conditions. But as a whole, what is our forecast is that it will be normal within range of 94 to 106% for August and September.
That was a very nice explanation, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, sir. This is Akshit Sangomla from Down to Earth magazine.
Yes, please.
Yes, sir. Sir, I wanted to ask the regions that are undergoing deficit rainfall this year for June and July, both the months. Do they also have a long-term trend? Have they been under deficit for the past decade or so? And is there concern about those farmers basically shifting their sowing pattern because they have not sown a lot of crops this year? And is there concern around that? Basically, is there a long-term pattern that we are seeing here?
We have analyzed the long-term pattern of district-wise rainfall for the entire country, and reports are available in our website. I'll request please go through that. And since there is a concern that northeastern India is continuously in the recent decades getting less rainfall, therefore today in my presentation I have shown the long-term trend of rainfall over northeastern India, east and northeastern India, and that shows a negative trend. But that negative trend is not so high, but still there is a negative trend of rainfall over east and northeast India. But district-wise, what is the trend that has been calculated? And there are certain pockets in the eastern parts where there is a decreasing trend.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, good afternoon. Anjali Marar from the Indian Express.
Yes, please, madam.
Yes. I wanted to understand, are the low pressure systems having a longer duration along with the increasing trend, especially that we saw in July? So any comments on that?
Yeah, madam, again, you have put up a research question now. Actually, I have done a lot of work specifically myself. I'm doing a lot of work on low pressure systems, depressions, cyclones, and many of my colleagues also done in ministry also, and outside also in R&D organizations, they have done it. There has been done a lot of studies, and the trend is that the frequency of depression is decreasing, and the number of low pressure is increasing. And therefore, if you look at total number of low pressure systems, it shows the increasing trend slightly. And number of low pressure system days, that is the total number of days of occurrence of low pressure. If I calculate over Indian region, that includes land, Bay of Bengal, and Arabian Sea, that shows the increasing trend. The number of depression days shows decreasing trend. But this analysis, I have not seen, nobody perhaps has not done this analysis, that long durable low pressure systems, whether they are increasing or decreasing. That study needs to be done. I have not seen that.
Okay, all right. Thank you, sir.
सर नमस्कार सर
नमस्ते
सर नमस्कार सर सनातन कहते समाज भुवनेश्वर
हिंदी और इंग्लिश में बोलिए ना
ना सर ओडिया कहबी आपण ओडिया ओडिया रे कहबी आ ओडिया रे आंसर रखे सर सर ओडिसा रे
यू कैन टॉक और कौन है
अगस्त सेप्टेम्बर रे ओडिसा रे केमती रहबो मौसम आ बेसिकली तो को पार्ट रे नॉर्मल रहबो को पार्ट रे डेफिसिट रहबो
So as per the forecast issued today, we are expecting below normal rainfall activity in August. But if you consider August and September together, we can expect normal rainfall activity over Odisha.
Sir, this is Sandeep Das from Financial Express.
Yes, please.
As you said about Orissa, can you specify about same thing about the Eastern UP, Bihar, Jharkhand? What exactly the indication? Because what will be the message for the farmers?
Yes, fine. Already I have told that. I will repeat. If you consider August and September together, the Eastern UP is expected to be normal to above normal rainfall activity.
Eastern UP, okay.
Eastern UP. But Bihar may be below normal probability. Jharkhand will have normal to above normal probability. Okay. But if you consider August especially, Eastern UP will have good rainfall activity, that's normal to above normal activity. But Bihar, Jharkhand will have normal to below normal rainfall activity. So I will summarize now again because so many things you asked. I also told so many things. For August and September taken together, Eastern UP, Jharkhand will have normal to above normal rainfall activity. Bihar is expected to have below normal activity.
Okay.
Is it fine?
Thank you, sir. Because things are not really looking rosy in the eastern part of India. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I agree with you that this year rainfall activity over UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, maybe to West Bengal so far has not been rosy. It is really difficult situation, but there is hope that rainfall activity will increase and we can have good activity, especially for East UP, Jharkhand, and GWP. Bihar, as per our forecast model, Bihar can have the below normal probability for August, September.
Lastly, sir, Bengal part, because Bengal is one of the biggest rice producers.
I told Bengal there is equal probability, and so therefore you can expect normal activity. Okay. But still, I will say that this is a forecast only. So it doesn't mean that everything will be 100% correct. So therefore, we will be watching together. We will be providing you extended range forecast. We will be providing you short to medium range forecast for next 1 week, also followed by the nowcast. And at the same time, we'll give the updated forecast again in September, 1st of September or 31st of August. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you very much for your cooperation. We can work together and send the message to public for management.